Hello, everyone. This is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is a Q&A episode. So let's actually get started, shall we? So, Benjamin, your questions. Is Thanatotheristes the sister species of the Spletosaurus? Technically, no. What classifies as a sister species is that it have to have identical characteristics. Now, Thanatotheristes is a Daspletosaurinae, but it is not a sister species. Based on phylogenetic brackets or family trees, basically, is that it's Thanatotheristes is actually one of the first dinosaurs to one of the first Daspletosaurinae in terms of that it did show up early compared to Daspletosaurus pterosaurs and Daspletosaurus horni. And so what that tells us is that it's not, there are some differences, even though there's only the skull, the maxilla, some other bits of the skull material, and also the mandible, part of the mandible that has been found of Thanatotheristes. And so we don't know too much about the other parts of Thanatotheristes. Whereas the Spletosaurus, Pterosaurs, and Horni, yes, we know more about those because we have a lot more fossil material of those two, and those two are sister species. Horni and Pterosaurs, Daspletosaurus, Pterosaurs, and Daspletosaurus horni are sister species, not Thanatotheristes. It's a cousin, or the way to say it is technically a cousin, a very close cousin of Daspletosaurus. And so there's your answer. And so it is a Daspletosaurinae, but it is not a sister species. So there are some differences. So probably it's maybe, if I remember correctly, the maxilla and the mandible do show like certain types of differences compared to Daspletosaurus, Pterosaurs, and Horni. And so there's some small differences. And so that's what makes them not technically sister species. Does Thanatotheristes have the power to take out Carnotaurus? Well, Carnotaurus is a little bit larger in terms of height and I think weight, if I remember correctly, whereas Thanatotheristes is a little bit smaller. Thanatotheristes, it is estimated to be 26 feet long, so it's slightly longer than Carnotaurus, like a foot longer than Carnotaurus, based only by the skull material. Whereas Carnotaurus, we actually have more fossil material of that dinosaur, and we actually know some bits a bit more in terms of its true size. Now, I will probably say is that Thanatotheristes will probably have the bite force. It will probably have the bite force to be able to basically get a bite pretty much right on the legs. All Thanatotheristes has to do is get to the legs. But Carnotaurus does have one advantage, and that is speed. Carnotaurus is considered to have very long legs for its body size, and so it really does have the speed advantage. And so that could probably be a problem for Thanatotheristes. But even though Thanatotheristes can stand its ground, because remember, Tyrannosaurs tend to have a little bit more power, more like muscle power, like muscle mass, compared to the Abelisaurs. Abelisaurs are still strong, don't get me wrong. They're still strong. But I think that this one's a toss-up, so that one could actually go either way, but I'd probably say Carnotaurus probably has a little bit more of an advantage, just mainly by the speed. Is Fukuiraptor the largest of all Japan predatory dinosaurs? From what I was researching, it seems that it's not. It is one of them, but there is Spinosaur material that has been found in Japan. So, but we don't have a full-fledged name for the Spinosaur, and so considering to be, even though there is a little bit more completeness in the skeleton of Fukuiraptor, but probably not the Spinosaurid. that is found in Japan. The Spinosaurus probably found in Japan probably have teeth, probably some fragments of bones, but that's it. We don't have a lot of fossil material for that dinosaur, but it is estimated that this Spinosaurid probably is the largest theropod in Japan, but we don't know yet. We don't know. And so that's to be determined so far. And does Appalachiosaurus have any chance against Ceratosaurus? So these two are probably more likely going to be evenly matched in terms of size. Now, what is going to be the difference here is the bite. The bite is going to determine it. Ceratosaurus does not have a very strong bite. It has very long and thin knife-like teeth. So mainly this means is that Ceratosaurus is only designed to get a bite and basically back off. Bite and back off. That's basically what it does. Whereas Appalachiosaurus is a little bit more designed for close combat. Most tyrannosaurs are actually going to be designed for close combat. So I would probably say Appalachiosaurus does take the advantage here, whereas Ceratosaurus does not have that type of advantage. Because Ceratosaurus is still strong enough to possibly hold its own. It's just that when you look at the skeletal design of Ceratosaurus, it is not designed for combat whatsoever. It is not designed to full frontal combat. It is not designed for that. Whereas Tyrannosaurs definitely are. Appalachiosaurus is part of the Tyrannosaur family, and so I would probably say that Appalachiosaurus would have the advantage here, is that it's got the bite force, it's got the better senses, and also the speed advantage and the power. And so I would probably have to go with Appalachiosaurus on that one. All right, Alex, your question, or questions, I should say. Do you think that some pterosaurs were flightless? So far, what we know of pterosaurs, what we know of pterosaurs is that they do have wings. And so the pterosaurs that are actually considered to be a controversial topic in terms of, like, did they really fly, are the Asdarchids, which are the really large, or the largest pterosaurs of all time. So you can think of Thanatotheristes and Quetzalcoatlus. Some scientists, some paleontologists think that they were not capable of flight, but why do they have wings? Why do they have wings? That is going to be the question. That is the biggest question, is that to some, they just think like, well, they're too big to fly. They're just too big. Well, they can fly. Models indicate that they can fly. They use a kind of like a push-up type of method to launch themselves to glide a little bit more to actually get in the air. Now, I would probably say the Asdarchids are more likely going to be flying in like short distances, not really like long distances. For a long time, it was thought that like because Asdarchids were really large and had those big wingspans, they could travel all across the world. But we have not found like Quetzalcoatlus in Europe. We don't find Quetzalcoatlus in Africa or Australia, or even in Asia. We don't find them that way. We don't find them there. We only find them in North America, whereas Hatzegopteryx, we only find them in Europe. That's it. And so that means they're only some of those species are actually localized. They're only going to be localized. And of course, they're really large and they spend a lot more time on land. And so it's because a lot of their prey is actually on land. So they eat like mammals, reptiles, amphibians, and even baby dinosaurs. They'll eat baby dinosaurs. And so that's what they did. But were there going to be pterosaurs that were flightless? I don't know. I would say all pterosaurs were capable of flight. For flightless pterosaurs, they would have to lose their wing membranes in order to actually be able to not fly. And also they would have much stronger bones to be able to, like, say, like go quick bursts of speed on land, and we don't have that. So pterosaurs tend to, but like the Asdarchids do have strong bones. It's just that they're still light enough to be able to fly, and so flightless pterosaurs, we just don't see that yet. We just don't see that yet. Could there be one? Possibly, but most pterosaurs right now, or like all pterosaurs right now, have the capability of flight. And then your final one, Neovenator versus Iguanodon. Who would win? So these two dinosaurs. So you got a theropod and, of course, Iguanodon. We all know what Iguanodon is. Herbivore that has those thumb spikes. And so you got a Neovenator. And so Iguanodon is going to be slightly heavy. Is going to be heavier. It is going to be heavier, and also it's slightly larger than Neovenator. Neovenator would have a shot against Iguanodon, but remember, is that I think these two have not met each other that much, or not met each other, because I think they're from like different time periods. Because I know Iguanodon's from the Cretaceous. I think Neovenator's late Jurassic or early Cretaceous. I can't remember what it was, but I can't remember. But like I think both of them are from Europe, or otherwise Neovenator's from Africa, if I remember correctly. I think Neovenator's mostly from Africa, if I remember correctly. But like I would say Iguanodon has the advantage here, is that it's got the size and also got the power. Neovenator has speed. Don't get me wrong, it has speed, and also has the carnivorous weapons like blade-like teeth and also claws. But the thing is, healthy Iguanodon is not something to mess around with. And so I would probably say that like if Neovenator went up against a juvenile Iguanodon, Neovenator would win. But if it was a fully healthy adult, no, not a chance. Not a chance. And so I would probably say that Iguanodon would have the advantage. But if it was a juvenile Iguanodon, Neovenator would actually win. But not a fully healthy adult. And so those are the questions I got for you today. Next week will be an extra episode. And so this extra episode, I am going to be reviewing the documentary that recently is available on YouTube now, is Why Dinosaurs. And so I will be reviewing Why Dinosaurs, that documentary movie, for the extra episode. And so if any of you are actually saying, well, when are you gonna do your review for Prehistoric Planet Ice Age? That'll come in February. I'll guarantee you that it'll come in February, as Prehistoric Planet Ice Age will be the extra episode for February. But this year, for the start of 2026, it'll be the Why Dinosaurs documentary. And so I'll give you my review about this documentary movie and tell you like what do I think about it, and give you my personal thoughts about it. So that'll be the extra episode for the first extra episode of 2026, the Why Dinosaurs review. And you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, yes, you push your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messenger's for private conversations only. And so if you got a question for me to send me on YouTube, please send, or on Facebook, excuse me, on Facebook, go to the Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Post your questions in the comment section on any Facebook post. And also for YouTubers out there, you can like the videos, subscribe to the channel. According to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet. So please feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because that's how the YouTube algorithm works. The more likes the video gets, the more likely the video gets spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general. So please feel free to do so. And also share the videos, share the channel to anybody that's interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general. So please feel free to do so. And also hit that notification bell so that we can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out weekly. And also if you go on my channel and you go on the post tab, you'll actually see I post like updates on videos, latest paleontology news, mainly in the dinosaur news cycle, and of course polls, and I post polls every 3 days on the channel, so that way you guys can interact on those polls. And a lot of you guys are actually doing a great job of interacting, and it's awesome to see the results of those polls. And so keep up the great work with that. And also for you YouTubers out there, leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. All of you guys are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube. You guys are awesome. You give me some great questions for these Q&A episodes, so keep up the great work. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Threads, same thing, at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you. And also, for younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you could have a good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's for now. Now, see you guys next time.